All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022, and you are now watching Permission to Exist. I am your host, Permission to Exist, also known as PTE. It is so great to have you guys. Great to chat with you as I round out this school year and more than likely my college experience overall. But I said that, and the funniest thing is, I was online the other day searching for other degrees that I could get. So I was like, you know what? I think something's actually wrong with me. Something's got to be wrong when you just keep going back for more. Want to give a huge shout out to everyone who supports the channel in any meaningful way, be that Patreon, Cash App, Super Chat, or liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you all so much for your support. It does mean the world to me. So let us get into our show for the day. Welcome everyone in the chat also as you fill in. Good to see you all. Oh boy. So this topic, this title actually, is something that I teased years ago. And anyone who's been around the channel for a while might actually remember when I first started talking about doing a show called Scammer Styles. But I held off on it for the longest because I didn't want to instill any stereotypes in you guys. But as of recent, so much scamming has been taking place and so many scammers have been getting exposed that I figured now is probably a good time to go ahead and do the show. And I'll do a disclaimer later on when I'm getting ready to get into some of the acting portion of the show. So basically, what I'm going to do for you is demonstrate at least what I've noticed a lot of scammers do. They all have a very unique style about them. They really do. But the layout of tonight's show is we're just going to briefly touch on these scandals that have taken place recently. Then I want to give you an idea of different behaviors to look for when it comes to scams and scammers and things of that nature. And then we're going to get into the fun part where I imitate some of these people. All right. You remember Alexis? Yep. So it's been a long time. I'm telling y'all, I just nurse my ideas. I have these ideas, I nurse them, and sometimes they come out right away. Other times they come out years later, but eventually I wean them and I release them to the world. So welcome everyone. I'm laughing because I'm already thinking about these parts that we're going to talk about a little bit later, or this acting, this not really a skit, but anyway, I'm just going to demonstrate to you what it sounds like so you guys can be on the lookout, because what I've come to realize is a lot of people really don't recognize scams. Now, in fairness, a lot of scams are actually very well done and well crafted, so they could fool almost anybody. And those you almost can't prepare for because they were designed to fool you. But most scammers are actually pretty lazy, so they don't really try very hard. But the worst part about it is people fall for it. And like all the time I ask myself, how can they be doing this? Why are they doing this? Do people actually fall for this stuff? And the answer to that question is yes. They do it because it works. So imitations, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I'll be doing some imitations towards the end of the show. Okay. So stick around. But people actually fall for these things. And that's why they do it. It's profitable and it works. Okay. So let me just give a brief definition of what I consider to be a scam. Obviously, there's an official definition, but I consider a scam to be anything designed to get you to involuntarily or deceptively part with your money. So sometimes people give away their money willingly and with full knowledge. And I don't know that I consider that a scam. A scam is really when it's designed to get you to involuntarily part with your money or get you to part with your money under deceptive means. So scams can be overt or covert, meaning out in the open or hidden. They can be short term or long term. And sometimes it's attached to like a trash product or a product that doesn't actually do what it says it will do. And then other times it's attached to like a trash concept. So, for example, I've seen videos on YouTube of people who will order a dress. I won't name the companies because I'm not trying to out them because they haven't been outed as scams per se. But people will go on to a very specific website. They'll order like a dress, and there's a picture of the dress and everything. Then when they get it, it's nothing like the picture that they saw online, like nothing like it, like not even close. Well, it's close, but it's obviously not the product they ordered. So that would be an example of a scam product. There have been some other scam products out there recently. One has to deal with sauce, but we're not going to get into all that because I don't know that that girl actually meant to scam everybody. I actually think she really meant to do exactly what happened, and it just kind of blew up in her face. But anyway, so that's an example of a trash product. But then you have trash concepts. So some people might argue that crypto and cryptocurrency is like a trash concept. Now, I personally don't know enough about crypto to truly comment on whether or not it's a trash concept. But I think everything that's happening recently with FTX might have exposed it to be possibly and potentially a trash concept. And as a matter of fact, a couple of months ago, it might have even been like a year ago, I made a post on my community tab. And I think I accidentally, not accidentally, I think I intentionally deleted it because it just wasn't really relevant anymore. And I like to clean up my community tab because it all matters. It all affects the algorithm. Let me see if it's still here. One second. Basically, what I did is I asked a bunch of questions regarding cryptocurrency because I wanted to know, I wanted to try to understand it. And someone actually was kind enough to answer all the questions. But I think I deleted it. Did I really delete that? I think I did. See, this is why I don't delete stuff. I wish they would let us just archive the post. Yeah, I deleted it, I think. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like I deleted it. That really, oh no, I didn't. Ugh, I have to have more faith in myself. So I made a post 1 year ago. It's not dated, it just says 1 year ago. But the questions I asked, I'm just going to run down the questions really quick. I said, for any Bitcoin experts out there, here are my questions. So, what is Bitcoin or a Bitcoin? Who created it? Why? What's the point? Why is it considered valid currency? Why would or should someone trust this new type of currency? What are the benefits of Bitcoin over standard currency? How do you buy Bitcoin? How much does one Bitcoin cost? Explain how your dollar is now a Bitcoin and why you would ever want to translate your dollar into a Bitcoin. Who exactly are you buying Bitcoin from? Is it similar to buying foreign currency with an exchange rate? Does Bitcoin go up and down in value? Is it risky like a stock? Can you sell your Bitcoin? Why would you sell your Bitcoin? How did some people become Bitcoin millionaires? Have the rest of us missed the boat? In other words, is it too late to jump in now? I see it being accepted more and more. Is this indeed the future? And my last question on this list was, this all feels weird and strange. Why? So that was my list of questions. I'm so glad I didn't delete that. Regarding Bitcoin, and really, I guess what I was trying to say was cryptocurrency, because come to find out, Bitcoin is a specific type of cryptocurrency. Anyway, neither here nor there. I was just trying to understand it, right? So people like me tend to be a scammer's worst nightmare because they really don't want you doing that much thinking. They really don't want you asking that many questions. But someone did actually take the time to answer those questions. So if you feel like reading those answers, it's still up on my community tab. You just have to scroll down a little bit. And all it says is 1 year ago. So I can't give you the actual date, which really sucks. But anyway, so let's jump right in. I'm sure some of you, if not all or most of you, already know all about the FTX scandal, Sam Bankman-Fried, and everything going on with him. So we are not going to get into a long-winded deep dive about the actual collapse of FTX, but I did want to cover it just briefly for some people who may actually not know. Believe it or not, like everyone doesn't hear about everything. The too long didn't read is FTX was essentially a cryptocurrency exchange, which is somewhere that you can go buy and sell crypto, very similar to Coinbase and very similar to a lot of other companies out here, some of which are actually going under as we speak. Because it seems like the whole thing might be might be a scam, but I'm not sure. Anyway, let's briefly look at this. Why did FTX collapse? Here's what to know. It says and this was published November 10th, 2022. Last week, the cryptocurrency exchange FTX filed for bankruptcy, and its chief executive, Sam Bankman-Fried, resigned, a downfall that has stunned crypto insiders and sent shockwaves through the industry. The collapse capped days of whiplash for FTX after its rival and the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, pulled out of a deal to acquire the company. On Thursday, FTX new chief executive John J. Ray III said in a bankruptcy filing that he had never seen such a complete failure of corporate control. Mr. Ray had helped manage the aftermath of some of the largest corporate collapses in history, including the implosion of Enron in 2001. What is FTX? FTX is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges. It enables customers to trade digital currencies for other, excuse me, for other digital currencies or traditional money and vice versa. It is based in the Bahamas and was run by Mr. Bankman-Fried. It has spent millions of dollars lobbying U.S. legislators to institute crypto-friendly regulation. Okay, now the big deal, kind of with this one, is there's so much to the story. There really is. So lots of celebrities, including Tom Brady, his ex-wife Gisele Bundchen, a whole bunch of celebrities got caught up investing in FTX. A lot of different companies, like big companies, invested in FTX. A stadium was named after this company. It was promoted. I think Steph Curry was promoting. Don't quote me on that, y'all. I'm just trying to go off memory here. I think Steph Curry was promoting FTX. Apparently, they were advertising all over YouTube. So a bunch of YouTubers had to come out and apologize for promoting FTX on their channel. It's actually going on a lot right now, you guys. So FTX is not the only one. You have FTX, you have Established Titles, and some knife company has recently been outed as all of them being scams, allegedly. I don't know that personally. That's just what I've heard. And it's been so much so to the point where multiple YouTubers, big YouTubers, have had to come out and make apology videos. Some of them have made apology posts. Some of them have taken their old videos down and edited out the promotion of these particular companies to put the videos back up. So sometimes it's good that all these advertisers don't reach out to me. You know what I mean? But my whole thing is like, I have like just a few people that I don't promote enough because, to be perfectly honest with you, I can't stand it, y'all. I hate it. I cannot stand endless promotion. It drives me absolutely nuts when I'm watching a YouTube video or something like that, and then either right in the beginning or smack dab in the middle, you got this 2 or 3 minute long-winded promotion. I just find it to be so annoying. I really do. I can't stand it. So I don't know that I would do it anyway. And the couple of little advertisers I do have, I don't even promote the way that I should. it's truly shameless is what it is. It's a lot of shameless promo. Well, anyway, all that shameless promo got them in a lot of trouble recently, in particular with FTX. It is annoying, right? It's so annoying. And I'm about to go on a tangent. I feel myself getting ready to get pulled down a rant. This is all I'll say to keep myself from ranting. If you, the YouTuber, also are a consumer of YouTube videos, then how can you not know how annoying it is to have all these products that are typically useless shoved down your throat all the time? It is just so aggravating. That's why I don't do it very much. I really don't. Or when I do promote, I tend to do it at the very end or at the very beginning. But even still, like lately, anyway, let me pull myself up so I don't fall off that ledge and go down a rabbit hole. But anyway, the YouTubers who were pushing FTX are the ones who are really, really on an apology tour right now because so many people invested a lot of money in this company and it's all gone now, you guys. I'm giving like the high level summary because I just don't feel like doing a super deep dive because there are so many deep dives all over YouTube right now. So if you really want to know more about it, I'm sure most of you already do, but if you want to know more, there's tons of YouTube videos out there about it, okay? But they got kind of exposed for a scam. And not only that, honey, there's like so much drama behind it. I see in the chat, it says Democratic slush fund. Apparently there was a lot of money getting dumped. I heard into both political parties is what I read somewhere. Just a mess, y'all. They said that these people were all in a polygamous relationship down in the Bahamas, honey. The girl that they had as the CEO of, what is it, Almeida, looks like she's 12 years old, and I'm not joking, not kidding. She looks like she's about 12 years old. And I saw one video clip of her where she was like, yeah, we don't do a lot of math. It's like elementary school math. I was like, oh my God, wow. So anyway, they collapsed and now they're starting to take down other companies with them because some people were very intimately connected and tied up with this company. And the former CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, apparently has fled to the Bahamas, allegedly. And no one really knows if he's going to be brought up on charges or not. And the reason is because a lot of this stuff had to deal with international money. And I think it might be out of the United States jurisdiction. I'm not sure. There's that. But then there's also the inherent risk in crypto. So it was never a guarantee to begin with. But I mean, apparently this company was huge. I had never heard of them until all of this happened. Never, not once had I heard about this company. But it is being exposed essentially as one massive scam, allegedly. I guess I can't say allegedly anymore. It appears that it was. Like these people's crypto, whatever, some people's life savings have been completely wiped out. Okay. So chat says a woman got investors to invest billions in a cryptocurrency. She packed up her things and never heard from them again. It's assumed she's living in Greece somewhere. Because essentially what it is, y'all, from what I put together, essentially what it is, like I could create a coin, theoretically. I could call it the PTE coin and then ask people to invest and buy PTE coins, basically something that I just made up, and then put my coin on the market to be competitive with Bitcoin and all these other coins. Just one massive scam, honey. Just a giant scam. And that's what made me want to pull up that old post from my channel on my community tab, because what it tells me is that your line of questions was valid, because nothing should be that confusing. Nothing should be that hard to understand. So the fact that it was that hard to understand to where I had to ask that many questions is a pretty big sign that it's a scam. So so there's sign number one for you. If whatever it is so confusing, you have to ask 20 questions just to get some clarity, chances are you're dealing with a scam or a scammy style product. Okay. Now, that said, if you got money in crypto, I'm not judging you. Like, I think I have $4.44 over in Coinbase, and I think I might go cash out my $4.44, honey, because it looks like all of this is going down. It looks like crypto is going to be completely wiped out. But crypto bros, as they're called, are all saying hold, 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 hold. They're like, it's going to go back up. But keep in mind, y'all, like one coin at one point in time was like $67,000. And that's what was confusing to me. I was like, so to buy one Bitcoin, it would cost you $67,000. So why would the average citizen bother at all? Like, why would you invest $100? It's nowhere even close to one coin. It just didn't make any sense to me. So one sign that you're probably dealing with a scam is it makes absolutely no sense at all. And you have to do mental gymnastics to try to make yourself understand or to try to make other people understand what you're talking about. Okay. So that's going to be a huge red flag. Now, the scammers themselves would probably say to you, don't worry about the fact that you don't understand it. Just trust me. Just trust me and you'll be fine. Like, honey, I don't know, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm definitely not a crypto advisor. I would just say proceed with caution. And if you are going to play with crypto, don't play with very much money. Like, play with just a few dollars. So if you lose them, oh well, but don't do things like I've been reading about people who put their whole life savings into this company and it's gone now. Like, they have a list of creditors a mile long, and chances are they're going to, if they get any money back at all, it's going to go to their bigger creditors first. Now, on another kind of gossipy drama style, tip, some people were speculating that Tom Brady and Gisele Bundchen got divorced as fast as they did to try to protect their assets because they knew FTX was getting ready to go belly up. Okay. So that's just a rumor. No one knows that to be true for sure or not, but it would make a lot of sense because apparently they had invested like $650 million allegedly into FTX and it went belly up. So I don't know, but that's one of the big scandals that's been dominating the headlines recently. And it'll be interesting to see what happens from here because a lot of that money is spent already. It's gone. So, and I knew there was something else I wanted to say about this. So Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy on the left here, apparently his whole shtick was he used to go around telling people that he wanted to get very, very rich or insanely wealthy so he could give it all away. So he had like this charitable facade or persona going that apparently appealed to a lot of people. So they basically helped him get very rich to help his dream, to help support his dream of giving it all away. True grifter, allegedly. I have to say allegedly because he hasn't been like convicted of anything yet. Okay. But wow, I mean, talk about running a scam. So there's that. Again, I'm just doing high level because this has been covered ad nauseum over the past couple of weeks, but I wanted to bring it to your attention and in the off chance that someone hasn't heard about any of this. Okay. So be careful with all this crypto stuff, y'all. Be very, very, very careful. All right. Now, another high profile, I can call her a scammer because she's actually been convicted. And I would like to draw your attention to a video I did back in, it just says 4 years ago. They kill me with that. Here we go. June 22nd, 2018 is when I actually covered her story. in a video called Narcissists Eventually Implode. All right. And I touched on two stories. I just can't remember what the other one was, but hers was one of them. But Mrs. Elizabeth Holmes has been sentenced to 11 years in prison for Theranos fraud. Okay. So if you will recall, this is the woman who essentially developed a product that was supposed to be able to test your blood for a range of different diseases and do it quickly and like efficiently, to where, like, for example, they'd be able to test you for like cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, lupus, you name it. They'd be able to test it all from one drop of blood. That was the whole thing. Well, the problem was the machines didn't really work. And they were also giving like a bunch of false readings, false diagnoses. She went on to like lie to investors, things of that nature. And people also really commented on like her demeanor. Apparently, she spoke in like a very low baritone voice on purpose. And that's not how she really spoke in real life. It was like this odd persona that she put on. Very strange. The whole thing was very, very strange then. And it looks like it has come back to haunt her. So let's just briefly touch on this. Elizabeth Holmes, the former chief executive of the blood testing startup Theranos, was sentenced on Friday to more than 11 years in federal prison for her role in defrauding investors out of hundreds of millions of dollars. So before I keep reading, I find it amazing that investors are so easily duped. But that kind of goes back to what I was saying at the start of the show, which is the reason people run scams is because so many people fall for them. So many people are so easily duped. And I think what the scammers know that either we don't know or we refuse to accept is that people are very, 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 very gullible and very easily taken in, especially by words. Like all you have to do is say the right words and they'll throw money at you. And I find that fascinating. I was actually watching a video on like just interviewing tips and skills or whatever. And I had to turn it off because I started to get nauseous because it was just so fake. It was so fake in terms of like they were doing like a mock interview or whatever. And the mock interviewer would ask the questions and the interviewee would give like the perfect answer. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if I was interviewing this person, in my mind, I'd be like, this person is a robot. This is a bot. Like, you're very fake. You're artificial. I don't trust you. Like, what's your real answer? Like, that's part of the reason I feel like I just cannot thrive in today's corporate culture because it is all so artificial and fake. But people respond to that artificiality. They respond to that fakeness. So basically, if you're a very, very good actor or actress, you'll get the job. And it has absolutely nothing to do with who you really are or what you're actually capable of. It has everything to do with your ability to dupe people. It's dupe encouragement. You're encouraging people to dupe other people. Like y'all are creating scammers, basically, and liars. Yes, I've seen her eyes. The chat says, PTE, did you ever see Elizabeth Holmes's eyes? You always said you could tell a female narc by her eyes. She looks batshit crazy. She looks strung out. Like she looks like a complete lunatic. She really does. Chat says, just like Madoff, he was able to create a Ponzi scheme and do it for years with celebrities and lay people alike. See, and again, kind of, and good point, kind of going back to the workplace, I feel like that's why I run into a lot of friction sometimes because I feel like I'm too real for them. Like I display too many characteristics of a human being. And I'm going to ask real questions and I expect real answers. And when you're so accustomed to living in a world of artificiality and fakery, to meet somebody who demands reality, you're not going to like them. Chat says she has psycho eyes. Yes, she does. I'll see if I can pull up a picture real quick of her eyes, unless they have one in this article. Um, no, they only put that top one. She looks bugged out. Okay. But anyway, I digress. Holmes, once seen as a Silicon Valley wonderkind, was ordered to begin her prison sentence on April 27th, 2023, in a case U.S. District Judge Edward Davila described as troubling on so many levels. Before Davila handed down his sentence, a sobbing Holmes stood up and addressed the judge directly. She said, "Looking back, there are so many things I would do differently if I had the chance. I regret my failings with every cell of my body." Holmes's defense lawyers had hoped for a short prison sentence or even home confinement. Now Holmes, 38 and pregnant with her second child, is expected to report to prison in 5 months. After her release, she is to spend 3 years under supervision. The tragedy of this case is that Miss Holmes is brilliant, Davila said before his pronouncement, but he concluded that she was motivated by avarice and greed to lead investors into believing that her company could do far more than she knew was possible. He also saw her actions as symptomatic of the worst of Silicon Valley. Now, let me tell you something. Most of these startups, I won't say most, I'll say a lot of these startups are active scams, honey. They just are. I'm sorry. I've worked for a couple of startups, and something is wrong with those people. Something's wrong with them. God, that would have to be a separate video, probably on a separate channel, probably on Pettynomics. Go subscribe to Pettynomics if you're not already. But startups, and I think the reason they're so insane and attract truly insane people is because most startups are operating off of venture capital. So investors, people who are giving them money to run the company. So if you're already a scam to begin with, and then you go on to scam people out of hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars to help fund and run your little scam, then you cannot afford to have a free thinker or a critical thinker in the midst, because if you do, it won't be long before they figure out what you're running is a dog and pony show scam. They'll figure it out quickly. And they might even figure it out innocently, meaning they're not even trying to sniff you out. They're just asking questions, trying to understand what's going on. And they don't realize with every question that they're asking, they're getting closer and closer to exposing the scam. So a lot of startups, their sole purpose for existing, in some ways anyway, is to just cover up the scam. Just cover it up, just hide it. Hide it, keep the millions coming in, keep the money coming in, keep your mouth shut, because most of them are hoping to be bought out by a bigger company so they can stop faking, make off with the bag, and that's the end of the story, okay? Chat says you aren't wrong. They are scams. Venture capital or entrepreneurs are all coded words for scams. That's what I've noticed. Absolutely. And I don't want to say all startups are scams, because that would be unfair, because some startups are actually legit and they put out a legit product and all that. But a lot of them are scams, y'all. I'm telling you what I know. They absolutely 100% are scams, and their daily activities are devoted to making sure the scam doesn't get exposed. Okay. So it looks like Elizabeth is going to be going to jail for over a decade. That's crazy. And it's just, just on a sidebar and an aside, I just get so disappointed, because when I hear about these people who are actually able to get funding and investors and get a company up and running, it's like you would think they'd want to do something worthwhile, But it seems like so many people's first instinct is to scam. And it's like, don't you realize that actually doing it the right way or doing the right thing would have greater long-term returns than trying to run a scam? But I guess I'm thinking about it through a different lens. Their lens is get in and get out quick. That's all they're trying to do. They're not really looking at long term or interested in long term. They're just trying to get in and get out. You're absolutely correct. The chat says Walgreens fell for the scam and spent millions. Yes, they did. They lost millions. Yep, they sure did. And what that tells me is that in these boardrooms, because y'all, I haven't been privy to any boardroom conversations, but I've been privy to a lot of speeches by CEOs and other people, other higher ups in a company. And typically when I'm sitting there, what's going through my mind is this person is full of shit. They're full of shit. Like nobody, you can't see that? No one else sees that? You don't see that? Okay. I'm the only one? Okay. Like when you're surrounded by a bunch of scammers, you'll walk away thinking that you're crazy, or that you're the one who doesn't have enough faith, or that you're the one who doesn't have a positive attitude. When the truth of the matter is, you're just seeing the situation for what it is. So my recommendation to you is if you can't get out of that company quickly, you better shut up and act like you don't see it, which sounds unethical on the surface. But what I'm trying to tell you is the last thing you want to do is be discovered that you can tell what's going on, like you can see it. Now, my recommendation to you is don't participate in scams because you don't know how deeply caught up you can get in that stuff. So what I mean by that is, like, if you are working for a company that is essentially a scam, or they're scamming people, and then one day they go down, you might get a subpoena to come testify in court. You might get some charges levied on your head because you were part of it. And if you saw it and you recognized it and you look the other way, you might get caught up in all of that. Now, I think it might be kind of rare for that to happen, but then again, I don't know. Because when a judge or a lawyer starts grilling you and they're like, so you couldn't tell that this was a scam? You didn't notice? Well, let's subpoena your cell phone. Oh, look, on this date, you texted your friend, hey, I think I might be working for a scam operation. I think I might be working for a shell operation here. That could be used against you. That's why I say get out if you can. But if you can't get out really quick, just hush, honey. Because who knows what lengths these people will go to keep their secret quiet. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how far they're willing to go to protect the lie. And so naturally, when it comes to FTX and Theranos or Theranos, I've never known how to actually say it. Think about how they probably treated the people in the company who raised their hand or brought up a concern, the people who didn't maybe realize they were working for a scam right away. Actually, as a matter of fact, with Theranos, I think she fired quite a few people who brought up to her, hey, these machines don't work. And when they brought it up to her, she fired them. I just feel like these people should not have this much power. These people cannot have this much power over people's livelihood. We have to revamp the whole entire system, y'all. Different show, different channel, probably different topic, but how you get fired for having integrity. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. I just don't feel like these people should be in charge of your very life and your lifeline and lifeblood. But that's a different topic. It's not what we're here to talk about tonight. But anyway, chat says, oh, good. We're talking about Lizzie. Yes, indeed. I bet she never thought in a million years that she'd be going to jail for even one day behind all this, let alone 11 years. That is crazy. And I've heard that a lot of the male investors gave her money because they thought she was cute. And I'm like, wow, really? I mean, I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder and everything. I mean, she's not terrible looking, but they thought she was cute though. And so that's why they were so willing to give her money. I'm like, everyone just must have a different set of eyes, and we must see things differently because she looks insane to me. She looks insane here. And in pretty much every other picture I've seen her in, she looks crazy. But that's what they said, that they would give her money because they thought she was hot. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you serious? Well, we must have different definitions of hot then. Okay. So that is going to wrap this particular portion of the show. So two very high profile scammers, one alleged, and one convicted. One is going to jail and one has fled to the Bahamas. And we are not sure. We are not sure if he's actually going to face charges for what happened. I am not surprised, though, to hear that the company, Sam's company, was very poorly run and very poorly managed. Most of these companies are, honey. So that might be sign number two. If your company somehow is still either making money or still in operation, even though like it's extremely disorganized and terribly run, or how did the judge put it? The judge said it was a complete failure of corporate control. So if you're working for a company that has a complete failure of corporate control, it's probably a scam on some level. On some level. And a lot of these companies today in existence today, not just the startups, are actually scams in spirit and in truth. They're scams. And what makes them a scam, once again, to go back to what I said at the start of the show, is that they are either involuntary, they're designed to get you to involuntarily or deceptively part with your money. That's what makes them a scam. So I feel like it could be argued that insurance is a scam. And the reason insurance is a scam is, number one, if you don't use it, you don't get any kind of refund. I think Allstate gives some type of refund. I don't know if they still do that. But if you go 10 years and you have no accidents and you've been paying into your insurance for 10 years straight with no accidents, you've never used it, but they're not going to give you your money back, that's a scam. Like I feel like you should get at least 50% of your money back. Because otherwise, what are you paying for? You're paying for the possibility. But what makes insurance doubly a scam, actually triple, insurance is a three-way scam. Number one, you don't get your money back if you don't use it. So essentially, you're paying for a product you never use. Number two, it's mandated by law. I'm talking about car insurance specifically. It's mandated by law in most cities and states here in the United States if you operate a vehicle. And if you don't have it, you get in trouble, up to, I think, getting your license suspended if you don't carry insurance on your vehicle. But it's a three-way scam because having insurance doesn't always mean they're going to cover what you're claiming. Now, that happens a lot in health insurance as well, and dental insurance. So you pay this money month after month after month, you finally use it, then they actually have the nerve to examine your claim to see whether or not they're going to pay it and how much of it that they're going to pay. It's a massive scam. A scam is designed to get you to involuntarily or deceptively part with your money. So don't get me started on that, y'all. Let's not go there. But insurance is a major scam. So that's what I mean by some of these companies aren't startups that are scams. These insurance companies are scams. You're paying for the possibility. Now, what would make it less scammy is after a year, they examine, hey, this person didn't file a claim at all. So they basically gave us free money. So let's give them some of their money back. Sure, we have to cover operating costs, but after we cover operating costs, we're just banking. That's why insurance companies have so much money in the bank, because most people don't want to get in an accident. So you are highly incentivized to not wreck your car for many reasons. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to damage your vehicle. You don't want to go through the whole repair process. Who wants to go through that? Most people don't want to. So you're highly incentivized to not get in an accident, and you just give these people money for free month after month after month. And then if you don't carry it, you get in trouble with the state. So don't get me started. I'll get triggered. I'll get triggered and I will drive off into a rabbit hole. Don't get me started, y'all. Okay. Yep. Chat says insurance is the biggest scam, Medicaid especially. I don't know a lot about the ins and outs of how Medicaid works, but I trust you. So, chat says women don't understand what men will do for a good looking chick. They will never understand. I don't think we ever will. I don't think I don't think we'll ever get it. It's one of those things we'll never fully process. Like I know men, will like help you carry your groceries and stuff and help you lift heavy things, but apparently there's more to it. Um, I mean, but is she cute to y'all? Like, is that cute? Is that what I'm not saying she's ugly by any stretch of the imagination, but but then again, I'm looking through a straight female's eyes. But even girls, we analyze each other. Like we look at each other like, okay, she's pretty, she's got pretty hair, her makeup looks nice, she has a pretty face. Like we can still appreciate beauty in another woman. But when I look at her, honey, I don't see it. But then again, I'm not a man. Maybe she's hot. Maybe she's hot by male standards. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Chat says she looks insane to me. Chat says she is not cute. Like, I don't find her cute at all. So let's move on. And now what I want to, y'all are going in on her. Chat says she is not all that. Chat says put his hair on her and then ask me. He does have great hair. Like I really hate that he turned out to be a scammer because he really has some great hair. It's got that volume. You know what I'm saying? It's got that curl, a little bit of curl to it. Come on, Sam. And it is not lost on me that his last name is Bankman Fried, which could also be read as Bankman Fried. It's not lost on me. But, Miss Elizabeth, honey, I want to take a flat iron to her head. I just want to strap her to a chair and flat iron that hair down, girl. Put some frizz control on there, flat iron that hair, part it in the proper place. Like, let's get a better part going. Darling, come on now. I have never understood how rich people walk around looking so raggedy, honey. I don't get it. I guess when you're rich, who cares what you look like at that point? But to me, I'm like, you could afford like a personal private hairstylist to come in and flat iron that hair. Girl, put it in a slick back ponytail or something. Chat says it needs a treatment. Girl. All right. Let's stop being petty because it's not about looks. It's about actions. Yes. But I mean, come on, man. She could have really hurt somebody. Like somebody could have had like an improper cancer diagnosis and started to undergo all kinds of cancer treatment. Like imagine if this had never been found out and her product got pushed out, to the masses, basically. And people are out here. I imagine at some point it would have turned into something at home. So like you take a at home drop of blood and I don't know, scan it, and then the results like upload to an app, and it's like, hey, you have cancer, and it's like, oh dear God, now you think you're gonna die. Now you run to get all this treatment, and none of it was true. So she could have really hurt somebody. So I'm gonna take a little bit of leeway in being petty towards her. Chat says PTE, you should watch The Dropout. Okay, I will. It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure what that is about. Chat says she's playing a character, the female Steve Jobs. It's the image of success. Yeah, that was like her icon, right? Her idol. So, anywho, let's move on to the next portion of our show where I want to give you some of the behaviors that you should be on the lookout for when it comes to scammers. I want to give you some behavior clues and some other clues that you should look out for. And then we will end the show with me doing my imitation that I don't know that I can do because I don't know if I'll be able to do it without laughing, but we're going to try. Okay. So, the very first clue that you want to look out for when it comes to scammers is a general lack of patience. They are going to be very, very impatient with you, whatever that is, especially if it's in person, because they're right there in your face. But it doesn't matter if they're in person, over the phone, or emailing you, texting you, whatever it is, it's urgent, urgent, urgent. It has to happen now, now, now. If you wait till tomorrow, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. They want to give you very, very little time to think about what's happening and what's going on. This is why it's actually kind of dangerous, and you have to kind of look out for elderly people. I tell my mom all the time, I'm like, Mom, if anyone reaches out to you and says, hey, your bank account has been compromised, you have to call this number right now. I was like, don't call the number. You call the bank directly from the number off the back of your card, you know? And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. I'm like, all right. You know, like you have to let them know. And again, what seems like obvious to us is not going to be obvious to, in particular, elderly people, because they may not necessarily know what to look out for, or they may not be hip enough to understand, like someone's lying to them. But anyway, especially when they put that urgency on it, like you have to act now, you must act now, like do it now, do it now. You can't wait till tomorrow. No, there's no time. You have to make a decision right now. It's designed to give you very little time to think. So they're going to be very, very impatient with you. People who aren't scamming you generally have no problem with giving you the time that you need, or if there is some kind of deadline, chances are they're going to give you advanced notice, like, hey, you have 90 days to make this decision. You have 60 days, you have 30 days to make this decision. They're going to give you some type of advanced notice so you can look into it, think about it, whatever. They're not going to put rapid timelines on you. Okay. Very true. The chat says because they answer the phone. Regarding older people do answer the phone a lot. So apparently one scam they've been trying to run on older people was calling them and pretending to be like the name of their child, because apparently they found their kid's name somewhere. And it's like, hey, so-and-so is in trouble and they need you to send them some money or whatever, and some parents are up on it and smart enough to be like, well, let me talk to my kid, put them on the phone, or, okay, I'll give them a call and see if they need me, but just talk to your elderly people in your life, and just make sure they're aware, because it's so easy for them to fall for it. It's sad. And they do target older people. So a lack of patience. The next thing you want to look out behaviorally is they tend to get very angry when you decline or refuse, or when you say no. Very much like a narcissist. Scammers are narcs. It pretty much goes without saying, but they're going to get very angry at your no. So their personality is actually going to shift on you. And when you see it happen in person, it's a little scary, actually. It's a little uncomfortable because typically they approach you very nice and warm and friendly. And we say, oh, no, thank you, or no, I'm not interested, or I'm good. Like their personality shifts. It's like the mask falls off quickly in that moment. And that's not normal. Like if someone is offering you something valid and legit and you don't want it, typically what they'll say is, well, here's my information. If you're interested later on, give me a call. You know what I mean? Because ultimately they want your business and they want you to be a repeat customer when it's legit. And getting angry at your customer because they told you no is not going to produce long-term business or a repeat customer. That's a great way to make sure they never reach out to you at all. But these scammers can't help it because their lives are depending on your yes. Because keep in mind, they typically don't have a real skill set. Their only skill set is scamming. So that's how they make all of their money. And so when you tell them no, you might as well have just taken food out of their baby's mouth. They're going to get very angry at you. So make sure you're paying attention to that mood shift. Most of them cannot stay in character through your no. That's going to be like one of your psychopathic scammers that can stay in character. But the real scammers, the quick buck, super impatient, they're going to get mad and they might even catch an attitude with you. I had a video, the video is still up. I just unlisted it, but I might relist it and link it in the chat or in the comments once this stream is over, called Fun with Scammers, where I called the scammer and sent him over the edge in less than 8 minutes. Because what was he trying to do? He was trying to, I think he was trying to get me to give him my social security number. I can't remember, but I'll unlist it or I'll make it public again and I'll link it in the comments. But you can send him over the edge pretty quickly. And he got vulgar. Oh, he was terrible. But yeah, they get really, really mad when you tell them no. Ooh, the chat says, "Ooh, child, the MLM girls, bless their hearts." Look, these MLMs. Like, why don't you put that energy into something productive? I just don't get it. You can get this much movement behind you, but it's all towards a scammy cause or a scammy reason. Why not make it something useful, honey? Like, I promise you, if I ever could figure out how to truly prop up like a real business, like it's easy to get an LLC, but it's not easy to get a team and get the money behind you. And sometimes you need an actual workspace, like a place to go, to acquire somewhere to actually do business out of. Like, business is easy, but it's also very complicated. So, but if I could ever actually get a real one going, honey, the things that we would be producing would be valuable to me and society at large. Like, I have this vision of basically, never mind, y'all don't care about that. It's an invention. It's an invention designed to catch pet hair specifically. And it's super simple and super easy, but I just would never know how to actually like create it. But anyway, it's kind of like a tunnel, like a vortex tunnel, but there's like adhesive sticky sides. So all 4 sides of the tunnel have like a disposable sticky surface on them. And then you turn the fan on, and as the fan pulls the air through the tunnel catches the hair on these sticky surfaces, then kicks it out the other side. Anyway, these are the things that I think about. I'm like, why don't you make something we could actually use? All these little crap products. I can't take it. Like, my brain is going to explode. I can't take it. But they put so much energy into these little scams, these little MLMs and stuff. It says there's a YouTube short of a guy that scammed a scammer. It was quite funny. The YouTuber played an elderly woman and the scammer was trying to help her get the money. The YouTuber drained his card. I've seen videos where the YouTuber actually hacks into the scammer's computer. Those are pretty funny. Don't ever feel bad about wasting a scammer's time. I remember one time I was working for this one company and I got a text from my boss. I'm putting that in quotation marks, my boss. And it said, "Hey, are you still in the meeting?" And I wrote back, and well, I knew it wasn't her because it wasn't her phone number. And I just knew, but I decided to go along with it. I was like, "No, I'm not in a meeting. What's up?" And she was like, "I need you to do me a favor." And I was like, "Okay, what's up?" She was like, "I need to get some gift cards to some clients. Can you run and go get them for me?" I was like, wow, you know, but they knew her name, you know, but what they don't know is how the person speaks and interacts and like their dialect and their, I forget the word I'm looking for, maybe cadence. I don't know. Their mannerisms is the word I'm looking for. So I had fun with that. I went and pretended that I got the card. And then they were like, "Okay, what's the number?" And I would like just make up some random number. And they're like, "That's not working." Like, don't ever feel bad about wasting a scammer's time, okay? Oh, that's a smart one. It says, "I'll tell them I'm a lawyer with police connections." Good one. Good one. Okay, so they're very impatient. They get very angry when you decline or refuse their little tired offers. Here's a big one. They show a lot of contempt or indignation when you ask questions. They do not like that. Most evil people don't seem to like that. They don't like it for many reasons, but one is because they actually have to, like, they basically have a very short script that they're operating off of. So when you show up with all these questions, you're basically throwing them off their script because they're not going to have good answers for you. They're not going to have any answer for you typically, because that would require a lot of forethought. Like, okay, what would somebody who's not easily duped, what would they ask? And what is the answer we're going to give them for that question? They don't think that far ahead. So here you go, and here you show up with all these questions. They get very aggravated at that. They don't like that. Okay. I actually just read an article, and I was going to do a video on it on Pettynomics, but that'll take me a year. So I'll just bring it up now. Y'all know Bethany Frankel? God help me, I can't remember what show she originally appeared on, but then she had like her own spinoff show, and then she was married to that guy, and I think they had a baby. Wow, my memory. Wow, something like that. Y'all know Bethany. Then she had like the little margaritas or whatever, skinny girl margarita or something like that. Well, an article just came out, I think today, and the title of it was the number one red flag Bethany Frankel spots in an interview. So that type of stuff interests me. So I click the article and I read it. Y'all, her number one red flag is when people ask too many questions in the interview. And I was thinking, maybe they were asking like, maybe they were getting too detailed, too deep. No, they were asking her questions like, what days do we work? What time do we start in the morning? What time, is the work day? Like basically orienting questions, like trying to figure out what the job is. She said that's a red flag for her. And I'm like, girl, if a red flag for you, my potential boss, is me asking questions about the job, then that's a red flag for me. Because what that tells me is you don't want me to know the hellscape that awaits me. You don't want me to go, oh no, ma'am, no, thank you. She said the only thing she's looking for is someone who's a hard worker. That's all she's looking for. She said, I don't care how smart you are. She's like, because we're not doing brain surgery. But if you're a hard worker, that's all I really care about. And my question to her back would be, how can you tell whether or not someone's a hard worker in an interview? They can tell you anything. Are you a hard worker? Oh, absolutely. I work 12 hours a day. Oh, perfect. You're perfect for me. But how do you even know if that's true? Chat says the new scam is employment. Absolutely. But y'all, that article's so deep. I actually might still do a video on it because it's kind of triggering, because it's like, that's a red flag for you, honey. That's a red flag for me. You're getting agitated that I'm asking you questions about the job that I'm getting ready to devote 40 plus hours a week of my life to. I have a right to know. Like, that's almost like somebody saying, marry me. And you're like, oh, okay, well, what is your name? Who are you? Where are you from? Like, tell me about yourself. And they're like, oh, God, she asked so many questions. Do you want to be married to me or not? Like, well, I don't know. Like, I have questions. Oh, you and your questions. I'm telling you, man, these questions, they do not like questions, honey. So that's going to be another big red flag for a scammer. The indignation they show when you ask questions. So far we have lack of patience. They get very angry when you decline, and they get very aggravated and indignant when you ask them questions, which you have every right to do, especially when it comes to parting with your money. So moving on, the next thing, and I'm going to demonstrate, I can't demonstrate the moving part, but I'm going to demonstrate the other part a little later, is they're either moving very fast or talking very fast and very loud. And I wrote off to the side, never trust anyone who doesn't take a breath. Okay. And I want y'all to take that to heart. If you don't remember anything else from this live stream, I want you to remember that. Never trust anyone who doesn't take a breath. And I believe the reason it's done is because speech is supposed to have natural pauses in it. That's what periods are for you to pause, breathe, then continue on your thought. Now, some people naturally speak a little bit quicker than others. I'm not really talking about those people. I'm talking about people who don't take a single breath throughout their whole entire dialogue. And it's like, how did you do that? Like, how did you do that? Not breathing throughout this whole entire thing. But they move real fast, or they're talking really fast or very loud. And it's all meant to disorient you and to make it to where you can't think about what they just said. That's the point. Word salad, basically. So pay attention to that. Next, they're going to try to guilt you into compliance. So a lot of scammers, when they're very aggressive scammers, they'll try to make you feel bad for whatever your decision is. If your decision is no, if your answer is no, they'll try to find a way to make you feel guilty about that. You know, they'll tie it to, for example, if someone is trying to sell you life insurance, which I don't know enough about life insurance to know whether or not it's a scam. I know that when people don't have it and someone dies, like, a lot of expenses fall on the family. But at the same time, I also don't know, like, what life insurance is out here denying. Like, oh, well, we're not going to pay this, we're not going to pay that. I don't know how all that works. I don't. Thankfully, right? But like, if someone is a very aggressive life insurance salesman, for example, and you're like, well, no, thank you. I don't think I'm going to make that purchase right now. They'd be like, oh, so you don't care about your family? So you don't care if you die and something happens to you and you don't have any life insurance? You just don't care what happens to your family. That's what I mean by guilting you into compliance. They're going to try to make you feel guilty for telling them no. Similar to that, they might try to make you feel guilty for what you're doing to them specifically. Like, they might go into some sob story about, how they have kids to feed or something. And that, just come on, man, just help me out, man. I got these kids, I got this, like, basically the idea is to guilt trip you into giving them your money, versus letting the product simply speak for itself. You see what I mean? Oh, interesting, MCer. We got to pick those shows back up. We got to, hey, always love. We got to pick those shows back up. I have like 50 articles that I've been meaning to share with y'all. But so much has been happening with that. We gotta get that going again. We gotta get that ball rolling again, because so much has happened with that. But yeah, don't argue with them. Exactly. And it says, if you ask questions, you are arguing. Absolutely. They interpret your questions as being argumentative, versus you simply having the right to ask questions regarding anything that affects you. Anything that affects you, you have the right to ask questions about, you guys. Don't ever let somebody make you feel guilty or wrong for asking questions. You have the right to ask questions. It's one of your most fundamental, basic human rights, I believe, personally. The right to be inquisitive and inquire within. You have the right to do that. And anyone who makes you feel like you don't is probably a scammer at minimum, and at maximum, they're probably a narcissist, or both, because most scammers are narcs. You got to be to engage in that type of lifestyle. Finally, in terms of behavior, they pester you. OMG. This is part of the reason I say most companies today are scammers or built on a scam-based model, because you make one purchase from them and they never leave you alone from that day forward. They just keep bothering you, child. To where something that I want to do for 2023 is I want to create a separate email, private email, that just has like my first name, my last name, and the word junk after it. So I'll just use my stage name, permission to exist, junk at gmail.com. Like, because I cannot take these retailers. These retailers are driving me nuts. These retailers have clogged up my private inbox to the point where I have to sit down once a week and just clear emails. Just clear them, delete, delete. And then Gmail only lets you see 50 at a time. So you have to just go page by page by page of just advertisement after advertisement after. I'm like, leave me alone. And I know that you can go on and adjust your email preferences to where don't send me any email at all. Or some people actually want the emails, but they only want them once a week. It doesn't matter, y'all. They just override it. They don't care. They do not care. They bombard you day in and day out with all these emails. But I thought of, yeah, it's harassment. Yeah, it's harassment. I thought of the perfect solution to it. See, and this is an example of a company or a product that I would develop if I could, which is basically we need to start making them pay for it. So the product that I have in mind, essentially, you would get to set the price for how much it costs to email you. So, but you'd have to price it kind of low for it to work, kind of. So basically, you'd be charging you would be charging them to fill your inbox up with junk, be that 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cent. And what would happen is, so they send out this mass emailing, right? And what they would get from your inbox is a bounce back. And it would say, in order to push this email through to this address, you must pay 3 cents. Agree? And then they could either check yes or no. And they could automate it if they want to. And even they could have a threshold, like we'll pay up to 10 cents per email to push this into people's inboxes. But anything priced over 10 cents, just reject it altogether. And basically, you could turn a small profit from these companies that are determined to harass you day in and day out just because you made one purchase. I bought one thing from you. That's it. I don't need 100 emails from you after that. That is harassment. And the way Gmail is, you can actually reach like a storage threshold. So I'm actually almost out of space on my Gmail on my personal account. And the only way for me to remedy that is to either go through and delete for hours, just sit there deleting emails, which time is money. That's why I say y'all need to pay me to send me all this junk mail, or pay Gmail $2.99 a month to get, I think, 1 terabyte of storage, something like that. I'm not paying you anything. I'm not paying you $2.99 a month just to have more storage to house more junk mail. Like, I'm sick of it. So, but yeah, it's creepy and abusive. I agree. But anyway, I digress. Boy, if I knew how to develop that, where sure, you can bombard me with these emails all day, but you're going to pay for it. 3 cents an email, 5 cents an email, even 1 cent. Like, if you think about it, think about how quickly that would add up. If you have 1,000 junk emails, calculator, hold on. Oof, 1,000 times, what is that? Is that 0.01? Yeah, 0.01. You can make $10 off of 1,000 junk emails, I think, if I did my math correctly. Oof. Somebody fact check me. Yes, pay me. Thank you. It says, yes, PTE, that's a good idea. Pay me to send junk emails. Like, and you could set the price. It'll cost you 5 cents for me to receive your email. It'll cost you 10 cents. And then they could set a price too. Like we'll pay up to 10 cents per email to push this through to this consumer. Everybody wins. You harass me with your email marketing campaign and I get a little bit of a kickback. You know what I mean? I like it. So anyway, yeah, they feel entitled to free advertising. I'm so sick of advertising. I'm like, if your product was any good, you would not have to stuff it down our throats like this. You really wouldn't. You wouldn't. It would sell itself. We would come looking for you. Like, hey, where's that thing that you made? I want more, you know? Yeah, it is insane. Even when you go override the settings and say, please don't email me ever again in life, what they'll typically do is just email you from a different like campaign email. It's so annoying. That's why I want to create like a junk email. So when I go make a purchase, put in that junk email address, and then you can go bombard her, honey, because I'm not going to check it ever. Okay. So moving on, let's see. Okay, so that's that. So then I have one more part to share with you, and then I'm going to go into my imitations, my impersonations. Okay. Here's something else you want to look for that indicates what you might be dealing with is a scam. Something I call the art of limited information. And I don't know how these people have managed to get away with this, but they have. And to me, it's a sign of a modern company where basically the business model is prop up this product or service, prop up a website, but don't really tell people anything. Like it's the art of limited information. You're not going to find much. Typically, if you have like a question or something, they're going to direct you to like, basically, it's called like a knowledge base. Or you could think of it of like a frequently asked questions. And it's like, I don't want your FAQ. Like, I want a specific answer to this specific circumstance. So then you have to go comb through the FAQ. One of the worst examples of this is YouTube, actually, to where if you have a question, they do have like a help center, but it's set up kind of like Reddit almost. So you have to go in and like you have to make a post, ask your question, and then hope that other people come along and answer it. It's very weird. It completely removes like human interaction in terms of talking to a person. It removes them out of the equation and it puts the whole burden on you. Like, oh, you have a problem? Well, you go figure out how to fix it. I feel like a lot of products are taking this approach as of late. So like they'll ship you the product, but they don't ship you a manual that goes with it. Like if you're of a certain age, you would remember a point in time where they used to send user manuals with everything, and it was fantastic. Now, I know a running joke is that a lot of people wouldn't even bother looking at the user manual, and that's probably why they got rid of them. But that doesn't mean one shouldn't exist at all. Like, for example, these phones probably do so much, but we just don't know because we've never been told. And it's one of those things where you wouldn't even know to ask the question because you don't even know it exists. Like I find out new things about the iPhone all the time that it can do. And I'm like, wow, was anyone ever going to tell us that? Absolutely. Chat says tech companies love doing this, the whole help center thing. I hate I hate help centers because they don't help. I'm still confused. I still have my question, and now I'm aggravated. But they are getting away with it, y'all. It's the art of limited information. And I think they do it on purpose because the less I tell you up front, the less you can hold me accountable for later. But if I never brought it up, can you really hold me accountable for it? They do it on purpose. They make the information very hard to find, or it simply doesn't exist at all. But perhaps the most egregious example of this is, for example, they'll have like a chat feature, right? And you type your question into the chat, and then you get an AI generated answer, which makes me just want to pick up my computer and throw it across the room. I don't want to talk to a robot, to people anymore. Oh, it's okay, because I'll never get around to making it. The chat says, warning, warning, tell everyone that this is your intellectual property. You don't want anyone to steal this business idea. I would, but honestly, it would take me 100 years to launch it. So I just give it away for free, which I know is probably a really bad practice, but it would take me 50 years to launch the idea, to even get it going. So, but I have more ideas that I haven't shared far and wide. So if they steal that one, that's okay. I got more where that came from. But thank you though for looking out for me. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, I don't want to talk to a robot. I don't want to talk to a computer. I want to talk to a person. That's why I always say, people say we should be very scared of artificial intelligence. We should be very, very scared of where it's going. And we probably should be, but at the same time, I'm not worried, because I can't even get a straight answer in an AI generated chat on a very basic question. So I'm not particularly worried about AI, because AI is still not very good at nuance. That's like a human feature. Human beings are good at nuance. The robots can't figure out nuance yet. Don't get me started, y'all. Don't take me down that rabbit hole. Yep, chat says, yep, no manuals anymore. I usually like to wing it on my own, but with the phones and headphones and other high tech, I want to have a user manual. Right. Like, tell me at minimum what all it can do. Like, what else can it do? Like, I wasn't going to bring up Elon because I was going to talk about him separately, but Elon threatened to make a phone that rivaled the iPhones and Androids. And I'm like, please, God, please do it. Please. Oh my God, please. Like, I think we are all sick of these phones, but we have no other choice. We really don't have a choice right now. It's like a duopoly. You either get the Androids or the iPhones, and that's it. You're stuck with one or the other. I'm like, please force them to compete and make their product better. Please, God. Please make the e-phone. I'm here for the e-phone. I'm down. Like, I'm down. I know people have incredibly mixed feelings on Elon Musk right now. Honey, make the phone. Elon, make the phone. Do it. Do it. Please do it. We need it. Because otherwise, all Apple is going to do is release another phone next year that has a sixth camera on the back. And that's it. Like, don't get me started, y'all. Don't take me down that road. But all I'm going to say is, Elon, please make the phone. Please make the e-phone. Please. Please make it. Force these people to upgrade their technology and make something competitive. You know what I mean? Because the things that the phones don't do are what upset me the most. But anyway, I'm not going to fall down that rabbit hole. Staying focused. All right. What else? So the art of limited information. They're just very good at kind of obscuring all the facts. And if you're not paying attention, you won't notice that you're not being told everything. So pay attention to that. On a similar thread, you can't reach a human ever. Like, trying to get in touch with a human being is almost impossible. There's an insurance company out there that operates pretty much entirely on AI, it seems like. From the moment that you buy the policy to the moment, like, if you have a question, all you can do is email them. You can't even call them. They don't even have a phone number. And I'm just trying to remember which one it was. Oh, it's right here on my phone. I don't want to say, because I don't want to out anybody. But there is an insurance company where the whole entire thing, you'll never talk to a human being the whole time. If you have a question, you're going to email them and someone will write you back, but you'll never actually hear another human voice on the phone dealing with this particular insurance company. Okay. But yeah, so anyway, there's that. Here's a lesser known one, but I want to bring it to your attention. When it comes to things in written format, a lot of scammers will have bad grammar, writing, and spelling. Something will be off about it. There'll be a mistake in there somewhere. Now, that's not to say human beings don't make errors every now and then. We've all made typos before, but most professional companies would rather die than send out something that has errors in it because it's very, very, very unprofessional, number one. But number two, it makes it look like nobody's paying attention. So, all the eyes that saw this particular copy, nobody caught this mistake. So that tells us that you're not very diligent, like you don't really pay attention to what's going on. But scammers, remember, they're moving very, very fast. So they typically don't have time to proofread. And I hate to say it, and I don't mean to stereotype, but a lot of scammers are based overseas. So they're doing their best to project fluency, but there are just going to be some simple mistakes in there that a native speaker would not make. So again, I'm not trying to stereotype. I'm not trying to paint entire areas a certain way. But when a language is not your first language, you are going to make some mistakes that you don't realize are mistakes because you're probably using a translation service. But a native speaker sees that, okay, this may not be their first language. But trust me when I say a lot of native speakers make errors as well. So let's not get that twisted. A lot of natives can't even speak their own language. So, but written, it's even worse. So you need to pay attention to that. Don't be like, oh, well, I always, I make typos too, and I'm not the best speller, so I'm not going to judge them. If this is supposed to be a professional company, you need to be judging them because it shows carelessness, basically. Pretty close, Alexis. It's close to that one. It's pretty close, but it's actually a different one. It's 100% automated. You'll never talk to a person. All right. So pay attention to that. Bad grammar, writing, and spelling. And I saw or read somewhere that some of them do it on purpose because they're trying to attract the type of person who doesn't care about that type of stuff. So you get an email from some random weird email saying, click here to win or earn $10,000 easy. And it's got all these errors in there. And you overlook those errors. That tells them, oh, we got one. We got one. So be careful with that. Sometimes you need to be slightly judgmental. I'm serious. Because a self-respecting company wouldn't ever let it leave the presses. Okay, so there's that. Another clue that you want to look out for is contracts that are hard to break or hard to get out of. So people who are confident in their products don't need to trap you into them. They are confident enough to where either they believe you'll stay on your own, or if you need to leave, you'll come back because they're confident in their product. They don't need to trap you into using their particular product. So if you are dealing with some sort of company or product or service where you have to enter into a contract where it's like a 12-month contract and we're going to auto draft your account and you can't cancel, or to try to cancel is like a nightmare, it's probably a scam. And I have an example for that. And the example I have are some gym memberships are like this, to where you go, you sign up for the gym membership, and it's like, okay, well, you're signing up for a 12-month membership and we auto draft your account. And to cancel, you have to like write a letter, not email, You have to write a physical letter, mail it to the corporate office whose address is right here in the contract. So you have to keep up with your contract. So you keep up with the address. Then they have to reply back. Then you have to like take that reply to the gym. Then they'll cancel it for you. Or another way that they'll get you is you have to come in person to cancel. So you can't call over the phone and cancel. You can't email and cancel. You can't go online and cancel it yourself. You have to come in to the gym to physically cancel. And what happens with some people, like they move away to another state or something, and they can't come in to cancel because they don't live there anymore. That's a scam. Again, why do you have to trap me into your product? Exactly. You have to jump through hoops. Chat says jump through hoops. Absolutely. If they make you jump through hoops to get out of the relationship, it is a scam. Because once again, what do I define a scam as? Anything designed to get you to involuntarily or deceptively part with your money. So you're going to be involuntarily parting with your money while you're busy trying to cancel this membership. Nothing should be that hard to get out of. Nothing, especially not something like a gym membership. Just cancel the membership. But they want to trap you into it. And what they're hoping for is they are hoping you'll get so frustrated by the process, you just throw your hands up and let them continue to automatically bill you. That's what they're hoping for. Because essentially it's free money. Okay. All right. So those are all of our tips. Just a real quick rundown: lack of patience, anger when you tell them no, indignation at asking questions, moving or talking very fast or very loud, they never take a breath, guilting you into compliance, pestering you, bothering the hell out of you, harassing you, limited information, can't ever get a hold of a human being, bad grammar, writing, and spelling, and very, very hard to break contracts. Okay. Yes, like some internet services. Exactly. Now, okay. Now for the fun part. Okay. I'm going to do some impersonations for you. All right. If I can do it without laughing. I'm getting ready to impersonate individuals who I believe either are scammers or running something scamming. It's something that I've noticed they all have in common, okay? Now, before I do this, I have to give a disclaimer. Everyone speaks differently. Everyone grows up in different places. That said, people are going to have different dialects. People are going to have different cadences. People are going to have different colloquial styles. So take all this with a grain of salt, okay, y'all? Take it with a grain of salt. This part of the show is meant to be fun and funny, all right? Some people you're going to run across who do these things who actually are honest people. It's just the way that they talk. So I don't want you to hear this. This is the main reason I didn't do this show for so long. I don't want you to hear this and then walk away every time you hear this thinking that somebody is a scammer, okay? It's meant to be fun and funny. But in my opinion, when I see any of these behaviors, I'm like, oh no. In my opinion, they're scammers, all right? So the first one is run-on sentences, okay? And I'm going to make a sound effect first, and then I'm going to use words. So I might as well just do it. It kind of sounds like this, and they just keep on talking, and it kind of sounds like dun, 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 right? So I got this article in front of me. I'm just going to try to do it with the words that are right in front of me, okay? So here we go. This is the run-on sentence, all right? The collapse cap days of whiplash for FTX after its rival and the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, pulled out of a deal to acquire the company on Thursday. FTX new chief executive John J. Ray III said in a bankruptcy filing that he has never seen such a complete failure of corporate control. Mr. Ray had helped manage the aftermath of some of the largest corporate collapses in history, including the implosion of Enron in 2001. What is FTX? FTX is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges. It enables customers to trade digital currencies for other digital currencies on traditional money and vice versa. It is based in the Bahamas and was run by Mr. Bankman-Fried. It has spent millions, like on and on and on and on and on. Like, but it has a certain rhythm to it though. It's like boop 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 boop. Like the way I think about it is one foot in front of the other. Like and they also have this weird like, God, I can't explain it. Like I can't even put words to it. But that's the first one. So people who speak in just run on sentences, like just picture somebody very awkwardly, just picture somebody kind of falling down a hill, but they're able to put one foot in front of the other as they're kind of gradually falling down this hill. Okay. All right. Yeah, like a typewriter in a way. Yeah. It's so hard to explain, but I know it when I hear it. So a normal read, FTX is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges. Run on sentence. FTX is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges. It enables customers to trade digital currencies for other digital currencies or traditional money and vice versa. It is based like gone, right? Okay. So run on sentences. All right. The next one you want to look out for is the fast talker. Okay. So this person does exactly what the name implies. They speak fast. So again, I'm going to, since I just got this thing in front of me, I'm just going to read it. All right. Last week, the cryptocurrency exchange FTX filed for bankruptcy and its chief executive, Sam Bankman-Fried, resigned, a downfall that has stunned crypto insiders and sent shockwaves through the industry. The collapse capped days of whiplash for FTX after its rival in the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, pulled out of a deal to acquire the company. On Thursday, FTX new chief executive, John J. Ray III, said in a bankruptcy filing that he had never seen such a complete failure of corporate control. Mr. Ray had managed the aftermath of some of the largest corporate collapses in history, including the implosion of Enron in 2001. Just fast. Chat says, I've come across YouTubes like that. It's all over YouTube. That's where I'm getting most of these from, actually. All right. But they just too fast, okay? Way too fast. Like just speed reading, okay? So it sounds like they're reading the side effects in medicine commercials. Absolutely, okay? Absolutely, all right? So let's move on to the next one. Now, this one is a little unusual. And if you have headphones in, I'd highly recommend either taking them out of your ears or turning the volume down a little bit, because this one is called Louder and Louder, okay? And I cannot wrap my mind around this one, y'all. But I've seen it over and over and over again, where basically they start off at a normal tone, but they get progressively louder as they speak. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if they're just getting tired and so they speak louder in order to compensate for the fact that they're getting tired, or if they mean to get loud, because the louder they are, the more disoriented you get. Okay. So again, this is your warning. If you have headphones in, take them out of your ears or turn the volume down. Here we go. Last week, the cryptocurrency exchange FTX filed for bankruptcy and its chief executive, Sam Bankman-Fried, resigned, a downfall that has stunned crypto insiders and sent shockwaves through the industry. The collapse capped days of whiplash for FTX after its rival and the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, pulled out of a deal to acquire the company. My pets are all looking at me like, girl, are you okay? Are you all right? I'm okay, puppy. It's okay. It's your mama. Why you yelling, mommy? What are you yelling for? Come here. It's okay. It's okay, puppy. I'm sorry. I woke all three of y'all up. I'm so sorry. Here, you want to give me a puppy? Come here. Oh, fatty. Give them puppy noises. Give them puppy noises to make up for the fact that we just yelled at them. I don't know if y'all can hear her breathing. You want to get you want to get puppy noises? Hmm? I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry. I didn't. Anyway, it's usually a gradual and sustained yelling. Yes, Susie Orman is very guilty of this. It's like they just keep getting louder and louder, and you're dealing with it when you, like, say you're watching a show or whatever, and you keep finding yourself going over to the phone to turn the volume down. And it's like you turn the volume down once, you walk away. Then you have to walk back over and turn the volume down again. Then you walk away. Then you have to walk back over and turn the volume down again. It's like, why is this baby yelling? I could get if they're actually like in an argument with somebody and it's getting heated and things are starting to escalate. But they're typically just talking and they just start to talk louder and louder and louder, and I don't get it. So that's louder and louder. Okay. This one is not something I can demonstrate, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. A lot of these scammers love to walk and talk while holding their phone. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if they realize how dizzying that is. And maybe that's the purpose. But typically, I can kind of imitate the way they talk. Here, let me actually grab my phone so I can do it. Hey guys, what's up? So I'm here on San Diego beaches. I'm just walking around, getting some sunshine and some fresh air. So listen, hey, do you see all this property behind me? Don't you want to be part of the property owners that are back here behind me? Well, listen, you're not going to get that on your couch. What you need to do is invest. You need to invest with me. You need to give me all your crypto tokens. I'm going to make you a crypto coin millionaire. And I'm just going to keep walking and holding this phone in front of my face and tilting, even and making you very, very dizzy in the process. So sign up using the links down below. And yeah, all that. It's like so standard. Like it's like a standard scam feature. Like you have to do a front facing camera recording but you have to like be moving around a lot with it. And like, oh my God, I can't stand it. Yeah, the YouTube ads, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hey everybody, what's up? So I know you're sitting there on your mom's couch with your feet kicked up, eating beans and rice. But listen, what you need to do is you need to stop doing that. You need to stop being the loser. You need to come follow me. I'm on the way to the gym. You see me walking. I'm right here on the boardwalk with all these beautiful people. You need to come with me. You need to click the link down below and join the club. It's like, nah, I don't think so. You just made me dizzy. So nah. Okay. So there's that one. And the final one I'm going to demonstrate for you is something that once you hear it, you're not going to be able to unhear it, and you're going to see it everywhere, y'all. And I don't know why scammers have adopted this particular style of speaking, but it is just something that not only does it irk my nerves, but it's typically an automatic red flag to me also. And I call it the roller coaster. Okay. And it goes a little something like this. So let's say somebody asked me, PTE, how do you make videos? And let's say I was going to do a roller coaster on them, right? It goes like this. It goes, well, first I choose a topic, and then I pick a thumbnail, and then I type out a script, and then I record myself talking, and then I edit. And then once I'm satisfied with the edit, then I put it up on YouTube. And it's like a da 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 da. That's why I call it the roller coaster, because it goes up and down. It's like da 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 da. Let me see if I can think of another example. Why should I invest in cryptocurrency, Miss Lady Ma'am? Well, part of the reason you should invest in cryptocurrency is you could have more security in your future, and you can rest easy knowing that your money isn't in a bank, and you can also benefit from when we're in a bull market. And yeah, it's like modified Valley girl, absolutely. Chat says it's a modified Valley girl accent. And it's like I can almost always tell when someone is lying when they do that. I cannot stand it. It drives me nuts. And so many people do it, y'all. So many. It's like a ba 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 and ba 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 and ba 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 ba. Can you imagine if someone just tuned into the show like right now? They're like, "What the hell is going on over here?" But that's that's how it goes. That's how it is. Like somebody, they'll either just be explaining something and they cannot help but be like this. And it's like they take it back up, they take it up and then they bring it back down. And and I'm going to take my voice really, really up and I'm going to bring it back down. Now, there's a variation of this. And Judge Judy, I don't know if she still does because I haven't watched Judge Judy in years, but in the past, back in the day, when people would do this to her, she would look at them and say, "Well, I don't know." So, for example, Judge Judy might say, "Madam, what do you do for a living?" And the girl would go, "I'm a college student." And Judge Judy would go, "I don't know. Are you?" Because it's like they kind of put a question at the end of a statement. So, you know, sir, where are you from? I'm from California. I don't know. Are you? Like it's chat says they're reading from a script and trying to mask it. Interesting. Very interesting. Um, it's like so there's, oh God. So YouTube commercials are notorious for this. So let's say somebody's trying, I don't know, who knows what they're trying to sell. And it's like they're trying to like walk in slow. It's almost like they're trying to make themselves appear more humble than they are in a way. So they'll be like, "Why did you start this company?" Well, honestly, it's for the people. And I think the one thing that makes everything worthwhile here is we're a family. And everyone here is really genuine and sincere. And I feel like everything we do has a lot of purpose. And that's why we started this company. So the chat says you had to think about it, Judge Judy. Yeah, it's like I'm a teacher. It's like I don't know. Are you? Are you a teacher? Now that you've heard both of those, you won't be able to unhear them, especially the da 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 da. Whether that's going to the gym or going for a walk or hugging your boyfriend or it's like a gotta go down and then up and back. Gotta go down and then up and back. You'll never be able to unhear it. And you won't be able to. Chat says like they're questioning their own lies. So like one place where I always hear it, like you'll see the commercial and it's like, what is this company? Tell me what your company stands for. I think what our company stands for is the people. And everyone here is like a family. It's like, why are you asking me? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Chat says it's like they're asking themselves if you'll believe everything they say, right? Oh my God, it's so funny to me. I tend to click off on videos too when they start that mess up. I'm like, oh my God, can you get original? But then again, going back to my original disclaimer, I get that people just speak in certain ways, and that's just how people talk these days, But to me, it's a sign of some scamming going on, or something ain't right when you have to hyphenate every sentence with a question inflection at the end. Like, what are you all about? I'm all about the culture and making sure everyone feels respected. It's like, girl, do I don't know, do they? Chat says using statements in the form of a question, it means that there's so much uncertainty in their life. I think it's a way to try to make themselves seem like they again, like they're a little bit more humble than they actually are or may be or are letting on, or it could just be a substitute when they just don't know what else to say. Like when they don't have an actual answer for it. So anyway, and one more thing I wanted to add to the end of this video, and this is really truly meant to be a joke, but don't trust these companies that end in FY and LY, okay? Like, if I see one more company that ends in an LY, I think that might be it for me, y'all. I think that might be the end for me, because it's just like, it just seems so packaged. You know, it's like Drinkly, Doodly, Germly, grocerily. Like everything is Lee. Everything ends in a Lee or a FY. Like, chat said they're trying to sound sweet and innocent. Like, pay attention to how many companies out here are starting to end with an LY. And I can almost promise you, any company that ends in an LY, you're not going to get a person. You're not going to be able to get in touch with a human. The information regarding that company is going to be incredibly limited. And you are going to probably get stuck in some sort of contract that you don't want to be in. But that's kind of meant to be a joke. Take that one kind of tongue in cheek. The whole back half of the show was kind of meant to be a joke. Grammarly. Oh my God. What Freshly. Oh, who else? There's so many of them. But I can't, it makes me want to pop. Like, it just makes me, it feels like all the originality is gone in our world. It's just like you come up with something, slap a LY on the end of it, and that's supposed to make it feel friendly and fun. Lumi isn't one because it doesn't end in a LY. Not Zulily, because Zulily's been around for a while, right? Think about like the newer companies. It's like with Washly, you can blah 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 blah. With, I don't know. So the takeaway, Calendly. What else? I know y'all can think of some more. Like, what is with this LY thing? Like, I already know I'm not going to be able to get in touch with a human, and the information on your company is going to be incredibly limited when you end it with an LY. I think they're probably all owned by the same person. But with that, you guys, I hope y'all had some fun with the show. I hope you enjoyed it. No, not Stanley Steamer. No. It has to end with the LY. Like, it's one word, but it ends with the LY typically, or a FY. But I hope you all, Leafly, I hope you all enjoyed the show. I want you all to be careful out here. Be safe. Try to avoid the get rich quick type schemes. Try to avoid things that require you to pay in, and then you have to recruit other people to come along and come join. You know, don't allow yourself to be pressured or bullied into purchases, commitments, things like that. If a contract is involved, always look to see, can you get out of it? You know, and if you can, does it take like a long drawn out process to get out? Don't trust all these smooth talkers, and especially don't trust the smooth talker who talks like this and makes it a habit of coming down and going back up and then coming back down again. Be careful out here, you guys. Okay. Is easily one? Easily, you see what I'm saying? Spotify. You see? Is Twitterfy one? Is that one? Bubbly, is that one? See what I'm saying? Like these LY companies, when it comes to these LYs, just know you are not going to get a hold of a person, honey, 90% of the time. All right. But be careful, you guys. Trust your instinct. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If people flip out on you for asking questions, chances are you're dealing with a scammer, okay? But I hope you all had some fun with this show. I'm going to hang it up for the evening. But thank you all so much for being here. Shout out to the Playback Gang. Be sure to leave a comment down below. And we'll talk to each other probably, I hate to say it, probably like mid-December, y'all. I got 3 more assignments to do and I'm done with school. So wish me luck, wish me energy, wish me focus so I can knock this out and be done and be free. Finally. Oh my God, after so many years. So take care. I'll talk to you again very soon and have a great evening, okay? Bye.